Hello, you beautiful, wonderful people. This is going to be an amazing video because I'm going to talk about one of my favorite pieces of fiction ever created, ever put to paper, Hunter x Hunter. Now, let me tell you the reason why I love Hunter x Hunter so much. Hunter x Hunter was one of the very first anime that I watched that I branched off from Dragon Ball Super to watch. Because I was a very big Dragon Ball Z fan and I really, really loved Dragon Ball Z. So when Super came out, I was really hyped. But after the hype for Super disappeared and, you know, I kind of was just sitting there, I was thinking to myself, like, what anime show could I watch? Now, I'm not saying that this was only like the second anime I watched. I had watched anime as a child. I had watched shows like Digimon, The Four Kids One Piece. I had watched pretty much any show that was airing on Toonami, like Yasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, The Big O. Um, what else? Um, Soul Eater, Death Note, and all the different shows that were on there. There was lots more shows than that, but I'm just going based off of memory. Because Adult Swim literally molded me into the person I am today because of how much anime I used to watch on Adult Swim. Naruto Shippuden, even though Naruto was also on Maguzi, and apparently Naruto was also on Jetix, even though I never seen it on Jetix when I personally watched Jetix, but it apparently was on Jetix in certain countries. I think Brazil, it was on Jetix Brazil, I think. Sonic X was also on Jetix, but I had never seen Sonic X on Jetix, not once. The Jetix I had did not have neither one of those shows. I remember them having a lot of different Spider-Man shows, like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, Spider-Man Unlimited, and Spider-Man the Animated Series, the 90s cartoon, which is also another one of my favorite pieces of fiction of all time. And Digimon used to come on at 3 o'clock in the morning on Toon Disney. That was the only way I could really watch Digimon a lot of the time as a child. Is literally waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and watching it. I did the same thing with Pokemon, mostly because my grandma had DirecTV. But anyway, Hunter x Hunter isn't my first anime, but it was one of the first ones that I branched off and decided to watch after Dragon Ball Super had ended. After that, it was One Piece. But Hunter x Hunter, I had found it on YouTube. I had constantly seen it on YouTube. I had constantly seen that there was, because I used to always look up free anime. That's what I would type in. I would type in free anime, full episodes. I would type in stuff like that. I'm an OG though, because I remember watching anime on YouTube where it was literally like it would be a small little square in the corner and it would be like the color palette of the show would be different and the voices would be sped up or slowed down and it would be in parts. It would be like Naruto Fairy Tale episode 77 part 1 and it'd be like 8 minutes of that episode and then it would have the next one and etc etc, and it still happens nowadays, but I always was the type where I really wanted to watch free anime and just be able to watch the episode and just go to the next episode without having to, press next episode or be on stuff like Kiss Anime where you press the episode and it keeps opening up a bunch of annoying ass ads. Um, and Hunter x Hunter 1999, not the 2011 one, was one of the first anime that was online that was free and it was full episodes and it was full screen and the colors were correct. They didn't alter the colors because of copyright or alter the voices. It was 100% the original product. And that is one big thing that drew me to it. And it was just very easy to access. It was very accessible. So I remember watching the first episode and seeing Kite and hearing the music. The music for the 1999 version is so freaking nice. I love it so much. An old Studio Ghibli kind of feel to it. I feel like Hunter x Hunter, the 1999 version, has a feel of of childlike wonder, has kind of like a Kingdom Hearts kind of childlike wonder feel to it, and it also has that feeling of nostalgia, kind of like Pokemon Forever, you know, all the different Pokemon movies, but Pokemon Forever specifically, where you feel like you could live it. It feels like something that could have happened to you as a child, you know, and it gives me a sense of feeling like a kid again when I watch it. And it just feels very mysterious. The music is very mysterious, and it does remind me of a lot of kid shows for some reason. It reminds me of Little Bear a little bit too. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Little Bear on Nickelodeon, which is one of the best Nickelodeon um, child cartoons, Nick Jr. child cartoons that's ever created, next to Franklin and Little Bill. I freaking love Nick Jr. I might look up them shows and watch them now because those were some of my favorites. But the feeling of the show was so mysterious, and it felt like an old school Studio Ghibli movie. And I was just like, yes, this is exactly what I want to watch. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And the first episode starts off with us seeing a guy by the name of Kite, and we see a young child by the name of Gone. And it's crazy because, you know, Gon is a little kid. He's exploring the island, very reminiscent of Kid Goku from Dragon Ball. I see Yashiro Tagashi most definitely took inspiration from Dragon Ball to create Gon as a character, because he feels like kind of a combination of Kid Goku and Luffy a little bit, um, which I really love. And you can tell that he took a lot of inspiration from One Piece too, because Hunter x Hunter does kind of have a low key a One Piece esque feel to it, and I'll get more into that and more in detail later on in the video. But we meet this mysterious guy named Kite, and Kite is just the coolest looking dude. He just looks so badass when he first pops up. And there are these things, they're mystical creatures. I'm trying to remember what they were called. They were like a combination of like a bear and something else. I can't remember. We'll just go with bear though. But Gon disturbs the nest and disturbs the cub, and Kite has to kill the mother, and he hates having to kill the mother, and he kills her with a sword, and then he hits Gon because he's like so pissed off that he had to kill that animal in its own reserve, in its own habitat. And later on, what I love is we get like a quick little time skip, right? Where later on we see Gon as a teenager, and we see that exact same mystical bear like creature, and Gon is like best friends with it, and it's just like the most cute, wholesome thing. And after that, Gon decides that he wants to be a thing called a hunter. And the reason why he wants to be called a hunter is because his dad literally leaves him to become a hunter. And his dad is like this extremely mysterious guy that we're so eager to know about him, because we know that we're going to meet him like at the end of the series. And that's what makes it so interesting. And we see a picture of his dad. You know, in the first couple of episodes, he has like this like jacket on, and you could tell he's like an explorer, and he goes to like far away off distant lands. I will say that Hunter x Hunter also kind of has the feel of a dream. It feels almost like an endless dream that you could think of when you're sleeping. And that's also another reason why I like manga as a whole, is all you're doing is literally writing down your thoughts, your ideas, your daydreams, and your dreams, which is why I'm also a writer myself. I'm highly inspired by manga, but I'm highly inspired by Hunter x Hunter itself. But I'm also inspired by people in general. I love just seeing people who allow their imagination to just flourish and to, you know, I like to see the things that they create that come out of their mind, and see how unique they are as a person. Because seeing a person's thoughts and ideas, and dreams being put onto a piece of paper and created into a novel, or created into a movie, like a Studio Ghibli movie like Spirit Away, or put into a manga, it allows you to get a look inside of their mind and what they're constantly thinking about, and what their emotions are like, and how they are as a human being. And just the fact that they can create a story out of their own mind is like mind blowing to me. I think writing in itself is just mind blowing. Imagination in itself is just mind blowing. But anyway, to get back to Hunter x Hunter, Gon decides that he wants to become a hunter just like his father. And basically, he has to catch a giant fish to become a hunter. And of course, he catches a giant fish. Again, this is reminiscent of Kid Goku. Goku was also catching fishes to eat. But Gon catches the giant fish in a lake, and he decides he wants to be a hunter. And after he decides he wants to be a hunter, he has an Aunt Mito, who's basically like his mom. She really doesn't want him to be a hunter, but he's like, I'm gonna become a hunter. It is what it is. He wants to become a hunter and get his hunter's license. And a hunter's license basically allows you to do things that normal people can't do. You're allowed to go into restricted areas and different places that you're not allowed to normally go, which also gives a hunter license more of an excitement to it because it gets us excited to see where are these far off restricted places that these hunters are going to go. So Togashi himself, he gets you very hyped. He's really good with build up, like really good. I think that he's very underrated when it comes to build up because even some of the items that they talk about and just Gene in itself, Gene and the hunter's license, both of these things get you very hyped up to see where these characters are going to go, and it already gets your imagination flowing. What's going to happen next. And the thing I really love that I'm going to talk about later on is how unpredictable Hunter x Hunter is as a whole. But, eventually he gives Aunt Mito a hug. She knows that he's going to become a hunter and she can't stop him because Gon is very stubborn and, he's a 12 to 13-year-old child. So you ain't getting nothing through that big old head of his. And she decides to just kind of let him go. And he ends up leaving the island, because they start off on an island, which is why I say it's also reminiscent to One Piece, because Luffy also starts off on an island. Gon eventually leaves, and then he ends up going to, this little port. Now, the 1999 version and the 2011 version are completely different. Gon actually meets Leorio way earlier in the 1999 version. And this is kind of the reason why I kind of like the 1999 version a little bit more. Because we meet both Kurapika and Leorio extremely early. We see them on the exact same island as Gon is on. We see Kurapika in a restaurant eating food. He stabs a spider, which is also foreshadowing about his beef that he has with the Phantom Troop or the spiders, whatever you want to call them. And then, Gon actually meets a guy who claims to be a hunter, but is not actually a hunter. He's like a phony hunter, and he has like an animal in a cage, another mystical creature is what I call him. But it's kind of funny because they almost miss the boat to travel to go to the place because to become a hunter, you have to actually find the hunter exams, which makes it even funner because you're literally hunting down the place to be able to become a hunter. Like the whole show breaks this down so much because the show is literally about Gon becoming a hunter and hunting down his father to find him. But it's also you hunting to find the place to be able to get your hunter's license. Like it's pretty mind blowing how Togashi does this. And I feel like people don't talk about this enough. But it's funny because Leorio and Gon, they're trying to get on the ship. So if I remember correctly, Gon throws his freaking fishing pole onto the ship, and then him and Leorio both jump off of a mountain and go and kind of fly over to the ship. Again, this is filler. This doesn't happen in the manga. It doesn't happen in the 2011 version. In the 2011 version, Gon just gets on the ship, and then he sees Kurapika and Leorio kind of like chilling on the ship. But in the 1999 version, we actually see Kurapika early, sitting in a restaurant, like I said earlier, and he stabs a damn spider with a fork. And then we meet Leorio and we meet this fake hunter. And honestly, I really love a lot of these extra scenes that the 1999 version puts in. I like them more than the 2011 version. The 2011 version, I love that version too. Still think it's a 10 out of 10 show, but it goes too fast. It's too fast paced. It's like they're trying to get to the point a little too quick. I kind of like the slow storytelling of the 1999 version. But basically, that's what happens early on. And then we see them on the ship, you know, and the ship, we actually find out that on the ship, this is actually the beginning of literally finding the hunter exams. And the captain of the ship is actually a examiner. That's what they're called. They're called examiners. And he's one of them. So Basically, they have to survive on this ship. They're literally in a crazy storm and they have to try to survive. And there's one scene that I really like that basically creates the friendship of Leorio, Kurapika, and Gon. It's a guy is about to fall off the ship, and Gon just straight up, just like a freaking maniac, jumps off the ship. And then Karabika and Leorio grab his legs to stop him from jumping. And Gon grabs the guy who almost fell off the ship and pulls him back. And they're like, "Are you freaking crazy?" And he's like, "Well, you guys caught me." Because they're like, "You could have been killed." And he's like, "Well, I mean, y'all grabbed my legs. Y'all caught me." And it's funny because Leorio and Karapika both had a beef because they're so different from one another. And Karapika was acting like an immature child. Like Karapika acts more like a boy in the 1999 version. Even though there's still some scenes where they try to hint that he's kind of like a girl or like a gayish boy. Even though I don't think Karapika's gay, he just looks like a girl. He's a femboy, right? But one of the scenes in it is like Karapika keeps calling Leorio like a different name. I think he keeps calling him Corio or something goofy like that. He keeps calling him that, and he keeps like clowning him because he despises Leorio. Because Leorio straight up says that he only wants to become a hunter to get the money, which is a big ass lie. We learned that later on. But Kurapika hates him because he's greedy and selfish, and Kurapika, has that beef with the Phantom Troop and how they're evil. And Kurapika just hates scum. He hates scummy people. He hates evil people. And his whole clan has gotten destroyed by evil people. So he just doesn't really fuck with people who sin, even though he sins to get revenge. And Leorio's sin, obviously is the whole greed thing. Um, Even though Leorio secretly isn't greedy. But he does sin with the whole lust too. Later on, we find out something else. Like, y'all know what sin I'm talking about if you've watched Hunter x Hunter. Um, but I love the beginning of Hunter x Hunter because I love how it's kind of like a fast paced One Piece where they're literally going on this like giant adventure within a few episodes to find the Hunter exams. And after they get off the ship, there's like this extra filler where basically Gon and Karabika, they decide to go in a certain direction to find the exams. They decide to walk. And this like sketchy guy also walks with them. But Leorio is like, nah, I'm just going to catch the bus. Now, in the 1999 version, we actually see Leorio get on the bus and actually ride around a little bit, and the bus just keeps going back and forth. Again, these extra scenes add so much to the freaking show. It's kind of mind blowing. Um, but yeah, in the 1999 version, we literally see him going back and forth on the bus, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" and he's like, "What the hell?" But in the manga and in the anime, we actually see Leorio hear these other two guys talking about how the bus is actually not going to bring you to the actual hunter exams. It's kind of just like it's a false promise where the bus just drives you around everywhere. So that's something extra that the 1999 version added that makes me like it even more. I really, as y'all can see, I really love the 1999 version. I wish the 2011 version would have adapted all of this filler. I'm not gonna lie, because I really love the filler of it. And again, I love everything Hunter x Hunter, but I love this so much. And I'm gonna give you guys a whole bunch of videos on Hunter x Hunter. I love Hunter x Hunter, so I can talk about it literally all day, every day. And I don't want this video to be too long, but there's that, and it's kind of like low key me doing a review and kind of giving you guys a summary. But I love the beginning of it. That's why I'm talking about it, because I just love how the show starts out. Literally everything about it is amazing to me. And I love how unpredictable the show is. It's so unpredictable, and you don't really know what's going to happen next throughout the whole show. And I love how in this next part, Leorio decides to go with Gon and Karapika, and they all go and they go with this one guy. He's like very shady. He makes Gon carry him and stuff. We already know he's kind of an evil asshole, and we know he's a side character because he like how he looks isn't detailed enough for him to be like a main character. So we know he's only gonna be around for a little bit. But basically the next part is they go into like this abandoned city like place. But it's not actually abandoned. It's actually another test. And we see these little weird creatures come out, and we see this old lady, and she basically asks them like an impossible question. And I might butcher this part, but I believe the question was, would you rather save your mother or save your significant other? Something like that. And basically, the dude, the guy, goes first, and he's like, "Oh, you saved your mother." So the lady moves and lets him walk straight. And it's really funny because we see that part. So we think, of course, as the audience, we're thinking, okay, so all they got to do is basically answer the question, just like how he did. And then all three of them get a question and they're trying to figure it out. And then they figure out that old boy actually like literally got eaten by some creatures later on. And if I remember correctly, I might be wrong about this, but if I remember correctly, the 1999 version actually shows him get eaten up or whatever. Like it doesn't show blood and stuff, but it like shows him walking and getting, you know what I'm saying. But the manga and anime version, the 2011 anime version, it shows like just a picture of him falling to his death or something like that. It's a little different, and I really, like I said, I can't stress this enough. I love the extra scenes that um, the 1999 version puts in. I just love them. But basically, this part of the show, it basically is like they sit there for a second trying to think about the question, and Leorio's getting pissed off, and he's about to literally beat the crap out of this old lady, and I'm just like, bro, calm down. Even though I love Leorio with all my heart because he's so freaking crazy. And then Kropika's like, wait. He's like, we passed. And then the old lady actually, like the little city they're in, she actually turns and opens a door and tells them to walk for like, I think she says like like 6 hours or something like that. And that's where the exams, that's for the next part of to finding the exams is going to be. And I'm gonna leave the video here because I don't want the video to be like 40 minutes long. Surprisingly, I've been talking for 20 minutes. It doesn't even feel like it. But I hope you guys enjoy just the little reasons why I love Hunter x Hunter. I know it's kind of like a recap a little bit, but it's just I love the beginning of Hunter x Hunter. It's like some of my favorite. It's like one of the best beginnings to an anime I've ever watched, next to Bleach, because I love the beginning of Bleach too. Like the first like 100 chapters of Bleach are like perfect to me. Um, One Piece is cool too, but it's like Bleach and Hunter x Hunter's first couple of the beginning of them are just so good. But like, comment, subscribe. Again, follow my TikTok, follow my Instagram. You can message me on Instagram if you're bored. Message me whatever you want. I like to talk about dreams a lot. That's what I really like to talk about. If you're underage, please do not message me. Only 18 and up. No underage people, please. I will not respond to you. I will block you if you're underage. It is what it is. Um, but thank you guys for listening. Love you guys. Peace and blessings, and take care.